Welcome all. I'm your host Tyron to AI Tools Show. And today we have Alonso. Could you introduce yourself, Alonso, and tell us how you come into the space?
Yes, so my name is Alonso. Uh, I entered into the space around 4 months ago, so not too long ago. Basically, I attended JupyterCon, which is a conference about Jupyter notebooks, and they presented this generative AI, and it was related to applying it to the notebooks basically, and how to code, to help coding, to help making mistakes, etc. And then I started to get interested on this, and I started exploring different things, in particular LangChain, and then I started to look into. Okay, so this is a simple. This is a simple app that I did, and basically here the idea is you can make here I'm asking GPT 3.5, and I'm providing it with the tool of Matplotlib. So if I tell it make a bar plot, basically the large language model will, ChatGPT will basically take this request, and it's going to generate the code. Okay, it's a little bit slow, but you see, I didn't tell anything, so I just told it to make any bar plot, and basically it says, okay, I need to create a bar plot. He make himself some numbers and he just plot them, and he uses Matplotlib for this. So I gave this tool, and I can be more precise. So I can tell it make a bar plot of the following quantities, 3, 5, 4, for example.
So what's Matplotlib?
It's this graphical library. It's just to make plots on Python.
So you attached it to ChatGPT?
Yes. Yeah, basically I take ChatGPT and I tell generate this code, and now you can actually plot it, so you can just use it. But this is okay. So this is relatively simple. But now I can also make it more interested. So for example, I can tell it, okay, now I need to use a little bit more power. So I'm going to use DaVinci, which is like the, I could use GPT-4, but let's see it like this. And I said, download IRIS dataset and plot sepal length versus sepal width, distinguishing by species. Okay. And now he will basically generate the code, and normally, okay, he makes a lot of, sometimes it enters into bugs, you see, but I hope that he will get it. And yes, so you see, he was able to find out what is this data set that I'm talking about. He downloaded. So this is it's a famous, it's a relatively famous data set. So he found it online, and then you see here he downloaded it, and then he found that he could use these columns and he could plot them, and he distinguished it. Okay, he made a mistake because he repeated 2 times the same things, but you can see that here that he was able to distinguish by species. This
And you wouldn't be able to do this in ChatGPT, right?
So Code Interpreter is a little bit doing this. So in Code Interpreter, you can ask plot the following, and this will be the same. In Code Interpreter, you cannot use Plotly, a priori not by default. So here, for example, I'm just changing the library to plot, and here I'm using another library which allows me to hover over all these points and to find out all these things. So I'm using another library. And basically, I just provide a new library to this. So this is okay. And then what is even more interesting is that I can tell this, I can tell me about the livestock in Turkey. Make a plot of their quantities. And he will basically search. And he will first try to search the information in Wikipedia. He didn't find it. He knew what was Wikipedia. He knew that he could find this information in Wolfram. And now I can basically found the quantities. So he found these quantities. And then he can plot them. Okay, here he made a mistake because he is not 990, but this is in millions. So, but still, you see that he more or less found these quantities, and he was able to plot them. So you see, basically you provide the large language model with the possibility to search, to plot, and basically that's so that's for this project.
So it plugs ChatGPT into the Matplot library or the Plotly library and allows it to do whatever you ask it to do.
Yes.
Cool.
So yeah, it's and this abstraction they call it agents. So, but it's a mental abstraction because at the end of the day, I mean, it's just to help yourself to say, okay, the agent will use the tool which is going to be the large language model, and it's going to use the tools that you provide. In this case, I provided with Wikipedia, I provided with Wolfram, I provided with a Plotly or Matplotlib library. So this is to me one of the most interesting parts, which is using the large language model but providing it with tools. Sorry, I need to wave a little bit to get the light on.
Cool. Do you want to cover the other stuff?
Yes. Okay, so this is one thing. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, it was about math. So I also created this small app. Usually ChatGPT and all these large language models are bad at math, and usually they are intrinsically bad at math reasoning because basically they are trying to predict the next word. So it's not. So if you ask it to do some computation, he will usually fail, or he will invent something. He will hallucinate and create something. But so I created this thing. This is Clio, the math solver, and basically the thing here is that you can ask it mathematical questions. For example, you can ask, okay, what's the derivative of sin time exponential, and he will find the result. You can also ask, for example, what's the integral of this quantity, and he will. You see, he will find these results. You can ask solutions to equation.
So
and
what is making this better or have less hallucinations than ChatGPT?
yeah, so basically what I'm doing here, I'm not asking the large language model to do it. So what I'm doing, and this is the important thing, is I'm using it as a translation. And in reality, I'm translating from human nature, I mean, from our language to SymPy language, which is this language to work with symbolic mathematics. And then entering these commands into this library of symbolic mathematics, and then giving the answer from this symbolic mathematics library. So in reality, I'm just using it, if you want, like a translation machine, because if you need to find what's the solution of this, then you will need to start finding, okay, and I'm going to start Googling, how do I enter SymPy, what's the command? First, I need to install the library, then I need to search what's the command to do this. Okay, I don't know why it's taking a lot, but a lot of time, but for this one, but But yeah, in reality, here I'm using it as a translation machine, and then I'm using the commands to use it to solve this.
And if you just used it in ChatGPT?
Yeah, for sure this will not it will fail because he's just trying to predict a next word. So again, if you enter, this is perhaps a little bit about code interpreter, but I'm not sure code interpreter is able to do this. I haven't tested this part, but for sure, if you ask ChatGPT by default, it will not. It will fail. It will fail because it's going to hallucinate. But here, since I'm not, I don't know why this one is
So you're
so
still
long.
using the ChatGPT API?
Yes, but I'm using it to call this function. Here I found the solution. Yeah. I'm using it basically as a translation machine. I'm saying, take this phrase and transform it into commands of this mathematical library called SymPy, or I don't know what it's called SymPy, like this. and then use these commands into the tool. So basically, this is, you see, so in reality, I'm not telling ChatGPT, do it yourself. I'm telling it, translate it into commands, and then I am going to take these commands and put it into the machine, and it will give me the result.
So are you going to do that now? Are you going to put that into the machine?
Yeah, this is this is already done by default. I mean, this is the result. So here, for example, here I told it solve this differential equation, and he's able to find I mean, he translates this into commands, which I'm not showing here because there is no point of showing the command that he uses. I'm just showing the answer that it's obtained after I enter these commands into the machine, and then he finds this solution. So yeah, so this is basically the this it's to basically solve math problems like what's the integral, what's the derivative, solutions to the equations. Yeah, so this is the math part, which is I'm also very interested because I'm a mathematician I mean my studies are in math.
So you using the ChatGPT API to create other solutions for yourself?
Yes. And yeah, this is basically the math. And in this, I also, but I haven't been able to implement it yet, but it seems quite simple. It's like all these type of questions you see here. I'm asking questions to, for example, you can ask questions of the style, Jan has 3 times the number of pets as Marcia, Marcia has two more pets than Cindy, Cindy has 10 pets, how many pets does Barak have, for example? So if you analyze these phrases, you realize that he should not tell me a value, because in this logical sentence here, you should not be able to deduce how many pets Barak has, because Barak has never been in the phrases. So, and this is, if you ask a normal ChatGPT, he will give you an answer because I mean, you are asking him to give you an answer, so he will give you an answer very certain, 36. But in reality, he will tell you, he should tell you, no, there is no unanswerable query. Outcome are incoherent. And this is, again, by translating this into some phrases, phrases that I give to a mathematical tool, and then this mathematical tool gives me the answer. So here is, it's again, for example, if I ask questions, so this is a very complicated question. Tim buys the same number of pets as Cindy as Boris, Cindy buys the same number of pets as blah, blah, blah. So this is a very complex reasoning. This ChatGPT will fail. He will give you an answer, but it's the wrong answer. And okay, in this case, it got the right answer, but by default, but he was lucky. But But in general, he will give you a bad answer, and then with this thing that you pass the values, you will be able to retrieve all the correct information.
So are you just
But
creating an add-on to make ChatGPT answer maths questions better?
yes, not hallucinates, and basically, so that's why it's not really like giving. Okay, it is like giving ChatGPT, but in reality, it's like providing it with tools, and basically this is the abstraction that people call agents. And and basically, and I wanted to tell that Chloe has also some Telegram, so you can also find it in Telegram. So this is I created basically an interface so that you can basically do it on your phone, and you just get the answers. You see, you create the answers here, and then here is the answer.
So that is because on your phone it's plugging into the ChatGPT API.
Well, in reality, I'm running it on my computer. So my computer has this program which basically works as a server. And when I connect my phone, the phone connects to the server, and then the server replies to the phone.
So you run in the server for ChatGPT on your computer?
Yeah, I mean, it's not very, you basically make a request. So it's basically from the computer, you make requests to the API of ChatGPT. But the advantage of this is that I'm not limited by the quantity of messages. Okay, you have maximum of 20, I don't know how many now, 90 per hour. I have unlimited. So it's just that I pay a little bit every time I make a request, but it's okay. Only the last one, which is basically this is perhaps not as uncommon for you. Perhaps you have seen, which is basically an assistant, and basically this assistant you can generate new images of the assistant, and you can talk to it. So I'm going to say, okay, hello, how are you? And you see it's relatively fast to I don't know if you listen or not.
No, is it playing what she's saying?
Okay, let me. So I said hello, how are you? And then let me unplug a little. Because it needs to detect the phone. Sorry, but yeah, believe me that he's basically he's repeating whatever I'm telling here. You see. Okay, no, it's not repeating. It's replying to me. And basically what is, okay, so the first thing is this part of sending messages and translating in Whisper, but very fast. And this is, I use Whisper C++, so it's very fast. And you can talk to ChatGPT, but that's not the most interesting part. The most interesting part is that you can provide custom instructions. So basically I can say, okay, in reality, so this is the instruction that I give by default. You are a helpful AI assistant. But I can also give, okay, I'm going to give another language. And here I'm going to say, okay, you are a professional translator. Translate the following text to French. And basically, he will take whatever text I enter. And he will, okay, he entered into a bag, let me, but basically you can provide, yes, this again, you are a professional translator, translate the following text to French. Now, these are the new instructions I have provided, and then I can say, hello, how is it going? And then normally, okay, you cannot listen, but he's replying in real time. I can also tell it like this, no? I can say, hello, how are you feeling today? And he translates immediately to French, and then he provides what's the pronunciation also. So this is since I changed here by other language, I'm using 11 Labs behind, and he can tell you the pronunciation. So sadly you cannot listen now, but if you try it on yourself, so it's a chatbot whisper 11 Labs, and well, I can give you, this is the address, and basically you can try it and you can talk to it, and it's quite fast. It replies in real time. So
Thanks. Those were 3 really interesting tools that you built using ChatGPT. Thanks for showing us.
thanks to you. Thank you for hosting me.
Cool. Thank you.
Bye.